You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities, Thursday, February 5th. Thank you guys so much for joining us wherever you are around the Quad Cities or state of Illinois, Iowa, wherever you are. Thank you guys so much for watching Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Getting close to the end of the week. Super Bowl weekend is upon us. Of course, the Super Bowl is on Sunday, so we'll talk a little bit about that today. A lot more about that tomorrow, but you got a jam-packed show once again for you today. If you're watching us live on YouTube, we appreciate that. Thank you for that. Hopefully you are subscribing. If you are not subscribing, please do so ASAP and tell a bunch of friends of what we're doing each and every weekday, every single weekday, 10 a.m., right here off the air with Matt Randazzo. Also, the YouTube chat is up and going. We love chatting, talking with people, questions for our guests, all of those kind of things. So be interactive with the show as well. We're also live on X. X continues to be very, very good to us. Also be interactive on X as well. The show is also available on all your podcasting platforms as well, whether you go to Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts, put in Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Check out today's show. Check out the shows from this week and the past month, all those kind of things. You can find them anywhere you get your podcasts. And also a special welcome to the viewers in Central Iowa, I should say. We are on every weeknight at 7 p.m. on the WHO Plus streaming app. So really have enjoyed doing that for the past several months now. So thank you guys for watching as well. As I mentioned, it's been a fun week. We started the week on Monday with Taylor Panel, the Rock Island standout softball player playing for the best team in the country, going into the season with Texas Tech. Softball and baseball season starts today, I believe. I know there's media days. Games are like next week. It's crazy. So go check out that interview with Taylor. Trent Condon, Rock Island's Arthur Abbey, and Rob Brooks, the voice of Iowa women's basketball, all on Monday alone. Tuesday, Kyle Huseman was on the show. Jim Madsen was on the show talking to Illini. And new Illinois signee for football, Byron standout Caden Considine, son of former Hawkeye football standout and former NFL player Sean Considine, on the show as well. Tuesday's show was a lot of fun. Wednesday, we had Nick Baumgardner from The Athletic yesterday talking all about the NFL draft, Iowa players, Illinois players, Gronowski versus Luke Altmaier, all of those kind of things. So he was on Jake Brend, and then the voices of Sterling Athletics, Jim Spencer and Matt Gingrich, they called their 1000th game on Friday. So we talked with them about that milestone and a lot more. So much great stuff the first 3 days of the show. Make sure you go check that out later today. Don't go anywhere right now because we got another really good show today for you. It was a great evening of college basketball yesterday in the Big Ten. Both Iowa and Illinois in action. We'll get to both of that in just a moment. Coming up in a few minutes, Tom Kakert and former Hawkeye Nicholas Baer will both join us to break down Iowa's victory last night. Late night out west. Started at 8 o'clock out there, 10 p.m., here in the Midwest. So if you stayed up like myself and Tom did and Nicholas did, bless you. If you didn't, you want to know what happened, you want to break it all down. And you have a lot to talk about because Iowa winning their 5th straight game, playing really good basketball, especially in the second half. We'll talk all about it with the Bear Cage and TK coming up in just a couple minutes. Also, coming up on the show in a little bit, we'll talk about Iowa's new football coaching edition. Jay Norvell, we'll get to that in a second as well. Moline's Kevin Gorgal, one of the mainstays of Moline Football, hanging it up after 33 years. He's going to go watch his son play college football, and rightfully so. And he leaves after 33 great years with Moline Football, a Western Big Six guy through and through. We'll catch up with Kevin Gorgle later on in the show as well. And then we'll finish things up with John Marx. We'll talk about maybe Roger Craig in the Hall of Fame today. Hopefully, should be. We'll talk about the Illini with him, Super Bowl, and a whole bunch more coming up in just a little bit. Hour number 2 of the show. Some news and notes before we get rocking and rolling. We mentioned Iowa, a victory last night, 84-74 over Washington. They trailed by 7 at the break. They gave up 48 points in the first half. Washington simply could not miss. Iowa's defense, not up to par, I'll say that. They played great in the second half, come back, win that game going away. They go out west. They go to the Northwest and win 2 games. They've won 5 straight. They'll come home for Northwestern on Super Bowl Sunday. So we'll talk about that with Nicholas and TK in a second. Illinois winning as well by 40. They absolutely destroy Northwestern. So much for that trap game or sandwich game, coming off a big victory on the road with Nebraska. Michigan State now coming off a loss. They lost last night to Minnesota. That's coming up this weekend. Illinois dominates from start to finish offensively, shot the ball really well, and their defense was as good as I've seen it in a long time. And that's all without Kylan Boswell as well. So Illinois playing extremely good basketball as well. And then one other note before we get to our first guest, there is a coaching addition to the Iowa football program. Jay Norvell, former Colorado State head coach out at Nevada, played at Iowa. He was on that 85 team with Chuck Long and all those guys. Really good coach, really good human being. He was an honorary captain this past season after he got let go from Colorado State. I was lucky enough to have him on the Hawkeye Tailgate show, the pregame show on the Hawkeye Radio Network, and an amazing human being, really energetic, great to listen to, knows his stuff, great addition to the Iowa football staff. I think people are going to really like that addition. I think he can do some really good things. We'll talk more with Tom Kakert about that later on in hour number 1 as well. But without further ado, we mentioned them. We talked about them. Let's get to that Iowa basketball game that was so late last night that a lot of people didn't stay up and watch. And if you didn't, you missed a good one. So joining me now, I believe awake, Nicholas Baer, former Hawkeye, and then Tom Kakert from the Hawkeye Report. Tommy, you need your sleep. Like Bear Cage and to myself to a lesser extent, we're younger. I'm worried about you today. Are you okay?
I'm okay. Yeah, it was a short night because you guys can just watch the game and then go to bed. I have to start writing.
Oh, geez.
I have writing to do. Yeah, so because I had to punch out some words last night about this game. But it's easier to write about a game when it's a win than it is a loss. So a good win last night. I wanted to mention something off the top, and just thinking about Josh Dix and his family. Josh lost his mom the other day and remarkably played in a college basketball game last night. He was with his teammates playing at Georgetown. Josh is at Creighton right now. And Coach McDermott had apparently arranged for a flight to get him back home so he could be with his family. And he stayed and played a college basketball game last night. Creighton didn't win, scored 9 points, but I've gotten to know Josh over the years, and just one of the nicest guys that you'll ever be around. Nicholas, I'm sure you've met Josh over the years, and just a great guy, great family. His mom fought cancer for 3 years, and just thinking about their family and praying for Josh and his family right now.
Yeah, and the three of us have all lost parents. And
Yep.
battled that stupid C word and all that kind of stuff. I just can't fathom what he had to go to and watch and play a game. And a lot of people in this day and age, Tommy, of NIL and money and all those kind of things, and people leaving and moving places. There's a big reason why Josh Dix is at Creighton, and it's because of his mom and to be closer to him.
Yeah.
So I think people need to keep that in mind as well when they watch former Hawkeyes, and maybe I don't want him to do like this, that, and kind of be petty, if that makes any sense. Josh was back there to be close to mom. So obviously Josh Dix is in our thoughts and prayers tonight, or this morning, I should say. Fellas, there was a wild, strange basketball game last night. Nicholas, watching that first half, I don't know if you could go into an empty building and shoot 20 of 26 from the floor. You probably could. Maybe Tommy and I, maybe not. But I get the defense, that's what everybody right away is like, oh my gosh, the defense wasn't very good. There's also a thing called being absurdly hot. Was it the Iowa defense? Was it them making shots? A combination of the both? What was the first half? Explain that to me.
I think it was a bit more of just the shot making, which I think going into this game was really surprising. I think Sean Bach had some tweet like Washington's like the 309th ranked team from three this year. They whacked 6 threes in the first half. Some non-shooters, guys shooting 15%, make a couple threes. So those things they happen. These wonky, weird things can happen on the road in the Big Ten, right? So I think what I saw was a lot of contested twos that went in. I remember like obviously there's a couple. I think like 2 lob dunks, and I was like, okay, like probably shouldn't be giving those up. But outside of that, like it felt like a lot of either contested twos or like some tough threes that did not fall in the second half, just wasn't sustainable. But what I was more impressed with is, I feel like for this Iowa team, you got to be able to find different ways to win, right? And a lot of times they've kind of hammered it on the defense, being able to be relied on, but being able to score 41, Fulgaris coming up big in the first half, Sturt's big in the first half. Like I think I was kind of looking at that. First half, Washington shooting 78% from the field. We only had 4 rebounds, I think, in the first half, which I don't think I've ever seen a basketball game like that. And we're still only down 7. So it was pretty incredible, but I think I felt more sure like, okay, it's only 7 points, and with the way we're scoring, I think we'll be okay. But yeah, I mean, Tommy, just a crazy first half of shot making, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was, but what you knew was more than likely the regression to the mean was going to come. I'm curious, Nicholas, what did you see from an adjustment standpoint that Iowa did differently? It seemed like they were kind of pack lining almost in some ways, trying to prevent Diallo from getting downhill. That seemed to be a big problem in the first half, and it seemed like they slowed him down by adjusting their defense.
Yeah, I think definitely more in the gaps, right? Like I think looking at the second half, I'm not sure how many attempts Washington had, but it felt like from 3, they were kind of like more like, hey, I don't think that's a sustainable versus Diallo getting right to the rim, right? So I saw that. And then also kind of impressed with like the offensive end, just getting Sturts even more involved as well. Like I remember watching a lot kind of earlier in the season. It felt like a lot of high ball screens, like, okay, another high ball screen. Whereas now it feels like it's a bit more kind of like open play of motion and getting him the ball on the run and on the move a little bit more as well. But yeah, some impressive kind of second half adjustments for sure.
So I'm watching the Big Ten Network, and because I don't go to bed right away, and they interview Cooper, and they kind of talk about that. And they came in thinking, hey, we got to stop the bigs. And like you just mentioned, they weren't good 3-point shooters, so they could most likely stop their 3-point shooting or let them shoot. They adjusted that, I think, as well. At halftime, Nicholas, have you been part of a game where, I think everybody on social media was like, oh, wait till Ben gets into the locker room. Wait till Ben talks to them at halftime. I know your former head coach. I know what he was like. Do you remember games like that where it just wasn't going right in the first half in one aspect and you heard about it? And do you think that's what Iowa got? Maybe not to Fran's extent, but what was the locker room like at halftime, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Coach Cullen wasn't happy about 78% from the field, right, from Washington. To your point, I've definitely been part of some of those halftimes where it's just like, this is not going to be pleasant. But at the same time, there's definitely some good teaching points and adjustments made. So, yeah, I think like that halftime locker room, I would guess would be, hey, here's a couple adjustments we're going to make. Not let Diallo get downhill. They're still going to be focused on throwing into Steinbeck. Like, let's make sure we, defend that as best as possible. But I think it's also just more of a testament to like how they're able to adjust and change things up, right? Like sometimes these games take on a different life. Like I don't think they expected 48 points from Washington in the first half, but all right, boys, if we're in a shootout, then we're in a shootout. Like let's get up and running and let's make sure that we can continue getting the best shots on offense. And I was really happy, and I guess Matt, kind of interested on your take on this. I think this was Fulgaris' best game as a Hawk that I've seen, and he's had a really good stretch here the last couple of games. He feels like a really important piece if this Iowa team's going to go where they want to go. And like a really good trip for him out west. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I think he scored 16 in both, right, Tommy?
Here's a great stat for you, Nicholas, that dovetails right into that. Iowa is 11-0 this season when Fulgaris scores in double figures.
That does
and
not
he had gone 5 games prior to these last 3 when he's had like 14, 15, 16 points in 3 straight games. The previous 5 games, he had a grand total of 13 points.
Wow.
So, and that was that stretch where Iowa, part of that stretch where Iowa lost 3 in a row, and he was just not a factor in some of those games. Last 3 games, he's been more active. He's been more aggressive, I think, getting to the rim. They're kind of figuring out some of those stuff, hitting him on some of those pocket passes, and he's shooting his 3 ball is more confident too, and you're seeing that, and he's playing really well, and as a result, Iowa's doing better. The bench last night was a big factor. It was 30-11 in terms of bench points, and that's your difference in the game. Many times is getting 16 from Alvaro and 7 from Tate Sage and 7 from Isaiah Howard. I thought Howard's defense was also really important, particularly in the second half. They put him on Diallo a lot, and Howard's their best on-ball guard defender, and they'll sick him on guys all the time when they need to slow somebody down, because he's the coaches kind of call him like he's a psycho. He just loves to just compete, and they just throw him on people, and he locks them up. That's what he does.
It's weird, guys, because you look at this game, and I was sitting there thinking, if they offensively played the way they played against USC to start, or there's been times that this team offensively, Grand Canyon game I go back to, the Rutgers game to an extent, where they struggle to find points, especially if Bennett's not, and Bennett was great all night. I'm not saying he wasn't good in the first half, but the offense looked really good, and I think obviously that helped. We talk about law of averages. There was a law of averages that they made 6 threes in the first half. I don't think they made another 3 until the final minute, when they banged home a 3 with like a minute to go, and it really didn't mean that much. So the offensively, and you're right, it was Alvaro in the first half played well in the second half, but man, I felt good for Cooper Koch. And I even said to one of my sons at halftime, the only one I let stay up, Charlie, I said, Coop's just it's been a while since he busted out. I even said it'd be nice to see Coop hit a big 3 or 2. And that's exactly from my mouth to God's ears. He was big, Nicholas. And that's the kind of guy that you can see that confidence starting to grow. Defensively, he played well all year. His shooting's been up and down. As a shooter, to see a couple go through feels really good. Your thoughts on Coop in the second half?
Well, same sentiment. I think not only see one going, a couple big ones. I mean, Washington cut it to 1 with 10 minutes to go, hits a big 3, puts up 4, and then another big one late to essentially ice the game, right? Like step back, 30-footer, again, the clock running out. So I think what I've been interested with him, big Cooper Koch fan, I think he's turned down a few good looks. Like you kind of seen like maybe he like catches like, should I shoot this, should I not? And then like the moment's passed, right? Whereas what I like the 2 that he made is just like no thought, like part of it because the clock was running out on both of them, but just shooting with confidence. I think for him too, I think kind of like you mentioned, Matt, there's times where this Iowa team can struggle to score a little bit. And like, we're going to have to, if Sturts is getting double teamed or getting locked up, like it's going to need to be Cooper. It's going to need to be Full Garrison kind of, provide for this Iowa offense as well. So really thrilled for him. I hope that kind of continues on in these next couple of Big Ten games for sure. But yeah, we'd like to see it continue for sure.
Tommy, your thoughts on Coop?
I'd like to see them design stuff to get him corner threes, because that's his shot. I watched him in high school, watched him in AAU, and he played on a really good AAU team, and he'd just go into that corner at times, and they'd just find him, and he would just drain shot after shot after shot. I think that's where his comfort is, and that gets him going. If he sees one go in the hole, then it's like everybody. You just get more confident with your shot, and then he's going to be better offensively. I'm really impressed too with Coop and the way he's defended, because he was giving up size and strength. He was going up against Kepnig early. He was going up against Steinbach, and he was doing more than hold his own, not giving up much ground. He picked up a couple of fouls, but you're going to do that when you're pounding it down there. I'm just so impressed with the way he has developed this year. From a guy who played really limited minutes in about 10 games last year, it seems like Ben really believes in him as one of his best defenders. He gives him some size on the wing, and he's just a low mistake guy. He's not going to make a lot of dumb plays, and that's the key to playing for Ben McCollum is you cannot make a lot of silly plays or you're going to end up sitting next to him.
Guys, I want to go ahead, Nicholas.
I was just saying, and to your point, Tom, like I feel like when Iowa does go small, putting Koch at the 4, like he's going to have to hold up pretty well. And he did a really nice job last night. I think that's going to have to continue to be the case. Like if there are these smaller lineups out there, like relying on Gruder, one, defend, but also rebound, right? Like I think he's one of the better rebounders that they have too. So definitely happy for him to have a big night and hope he can continue.
Who wants the
Nicholas, you can speak to that. Nicholas, you can speak to that playing, sometimes you were an undersized 4. Trying to play.
You call it undersized, Tom. You call it undersized, man.
Just you're not 6'10".
He's long. He's long. Don't forget that.
Here's the thing. Cooper's much stronger than I was, but like I think to your point, there's sometimes it's like, hey, you know what? This guy's better than me. We're gonna have to I'm gonna battle it out. Probably foul a couple times, but at the same time, contesting at the rim, getting a few blocks, leading to runouts, and also the flip side of that was. All right, I got a 230-pound guy guarding me, on the pick and pops, or like with Coop, flaring out to the corner. Those guys don't want to necessarily guard that way too. So, being able to do both definitely important.
Who wants the Bennett Sturts softball question, Tommy? Fifth straight 20-point game. I'll say this, and maybe it's shame on me. I don't know if I watched him enough last year. I didn't know how good he was around the rim. I don't know if that makes sense, but he finishes really well inside. He's he's not like 6'1", 6'2". He's 6'3", 6'4". I mean, he's a bigger guard. I'm impressed with the way he finishes. Never gets sped up, all those kind of things. But there's sometimes last night I watched and it would get late in the shot clock and I'd be like, just get the ball in his hands. Like you feel like he knows. I mean, you see him directing like a point guard should. I guess it's a dumb question, but Tommy, Bennett Sturts is pretty good.
He's pretty good. He just plays at his own pace. He does not speed up. And the thing that I really like about him is he has a sense for what his team needs to do at that moment. Where if they need him to score, he's going to run the clock and he's going to run the offense. He's going to get guys touches in a possession, but the ball's going to matriculate back to him, and he's going to find a way to get a good shot. And he's just got that feel for that moment when your team needs a 3 right here. Nicholas, you could probably speak to this too. It's like Jordan Bohannon, I thought, always had that feel for like, hey, my team needs me to hit a 3 here, or my team needs me to get a bucket. And he always seems to be able to do that.
I think I mentioned this on your last pod, Randazzo, not all 3s are the same, if that makes sense. I feel like for this team, a Bennett Sturts step back 3 gets the team going and if we're playing at home, gets Carver going more. It was the same thing with Jordan Bohannon, right? If J-Bo hits a 30-footer, that is different than someone else just hitting a corner 3, right? So I definitely think I agree with that from having a sense for what the team needs and what the game needs. What I was impressed with Sturts, and I've been impressed this whole season, is really his decision making out of the pick and roll. I think they have done a great job. He does a great job hitting that pocket pass, but then from there, Banks doing a really nice job, aggressive finishing the rim. Same with Fulgaris, but I think he does a really nice job just engineering success for this team of getting guys the ball right time when they need it in position to be successful. So, I think to your point, Tommy, just how he's able to get this team in a position to be successful has been really impressive.
Yeah.
I got to steal something from our good friend Chad Lystico. Iowa scored 84 points back-to-back games, won twice by double digits, committed 9 turnovers on the trip. And 2 of those were shot clock violations at the end of the game just to intentionally get the ball back to the other team. I know we talk defense with Iowa, but Nicholas and people that were worried about when Ben McCollum came in, it was just defense and it wasn't going to be enough offense. It's pretty good offense, isn't it?
It's not bad. 84 back-to-back games. I think, and to your point too, Matt, they haven't necessarily changed their MO. It's not like this team's running and gunning now in transition. It's still just really, really efficient basketball and taking really good shots. So definitely been impressed with that. I think what I'm most interested in is, I think when we looked at the stretch after the Purdue game, hey, these next 5 to 7 games, like pretty favorable, like schedule lightens up a little bit, and to this team's credit, gone 5-0 in the last 5, right? And Northwestern and Maryland, 2 very winnable games coming up here. I'm really interested to see how this translates to the Purdue's, Nebraskas, Michigans of the world, and kind of like some of these, other top ranked teams as well. So, a lot out there still. But Tom, have you seen anything else kind of offensively over these last 2 games of the trip out west?
I just think that they have really kind of gotten in a better groove. It's interesting. During that 3-game losing streak, talked to McCollum, and he was like, "I'm seeing things. I'm seeing." He could sense this was coming. That the team was really starting to gel together, and you're seeing that now, where what he said was true, and that coaches can sense that, and I think players can sense that too. Nicholas, you could probably speak to that better than anybody. I mean, you can sense when even though you're not getting the results, you can see the team starting to gel, and then boom, here you are. You won 5 in a row, and now you're starting to really cruise. By the way, Matt, so we can get this in. Iowa up to 15th in KenPom, 20th in offense, and 21st in defensive efficiency.
Scott Weiss, drink.
Drink.
No, absolutely. And they're very, and so I want to look big picture real quick with you guys, because I've got the text messages. In fact, our good friend Andrew Lehman with the John Deere Classic texted me real late last night saying, like, and the words "Sweet 16" came into the right away. Like, so what is the expectations now for this Iowa basketball team? I think they're solidly in the NCAA tournament. Nicholas mentioned it gets dicey late. I mean, there's some really tough games down the stretch, but this team's an NCAA tournament team. I don't think we need to discuss that. What's the ceiling now for Iowa basketball this season? Nicholas, I'll start with you.
I think I kind of have 2 answers. I think Sweet 16 definitely attainable. Partially, I mean, this team's playing really well, but you also have a guy in Bennett Sturts that you can just rely on in March. I think that's definitely a key part of how that success looks. I think one question I kind of get posed, and Tommy, I'll pose it to you as well. Believe it or not, I do have some Iowa State fans in my life. I do. And one of the things they kind of say is like, I guys, listen, I know.
We'll talk later. We need to figure that out. Yeah.
One of the things they kind of share with me is like, okay, yeah, KenPom great, but like still no wins against a ranked team. Like still haven't quite beat some of these top tier teams. When I watch this team, I see like a ranked team. I see a team, especially now coming on in February, that's like playing their best basketball. It feels like in these last 5 games, and I think we'll get some of these ranked wins. But it's Tommy, to your point, or not to your point, but just in general, like how are you kind of evaluating like KenPom, where we're like top 20 versus maybe not having some of that success against some of these teams so far?
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting question, because the analytics seem to, and you can game some of that stuff too. I mean, McCollum's talked about it, how you can game the net a little bit, because if you get 20-point wins against bad teams, you rise up. I mean, you can game some of this, but that's the flaws in there's always flaws in every ranking system. From the AP poll, where you're dealing with human beings who make mistakes, versus computers that have holes in whatever algorithm you're putting it together with. I think what I'm curious about, they'll probably win the next 2. They should win the next 2. The Maryland game at Maryland, and then although Iowa would benefit from getting Jordan Bohannon to come in for the Maryland games, because you remember J-Bo just shot crazy good in that building.
He hit 8 or 9 in a row. Last time up there.
Yeah, he was crazy. We're getting a lot of J-Bo love today for some reason, but it's all right. That stretch where they're going to play Purdue, Nebraska in Iowa City, and then go up to Wisconsin. I think that 3-game stretch is going to tell us a lot about this team, and particularly because there are 2 home games. One of them sold out now. The Purdue game sold out. If they can get 2 of 3 there, then I'm going to be like, okay, this team has kind of elevated itself. I think at times what they've struggled with, and what impressed me last night, because I was concerned about the athleticism that Washington had at the guards position, bigger guards that were pretty athletic, and then they had size and they had a shot blocker. Kepnick is a pretty good shot blocker, and that's something that they've struggled with this year at times when they've gone against it, and they did really well against it. I think they're starting to figure it out. Like the Illinois game, I thought they got a little intimidated going to the rim because of the size. And now I'm seeing them kind of go to the rim. How does Sturtz, some of those layups where he throws it so high off the glass when he's driving in and he just drops it in, those are just such tough shots.
No, his touch is unbelievable. And I think, Matt, you kind of mentioned it earlier too. It's like his over shot blockers, but like haven't soft enough to go off the glass. That's definitely a skill that you work on. It's definitely one that he has for sure. So I'm pretty impressive.
Now, you feel comfortable him going to the rim, and I didn't know I would feel that comfortable with him going to the rim, and that's probably a shame on me than anything else. A couple more before I let you guys go. Tommy mentioned Purdue is a sellout. It's cool that Carver's sold out. I'm excited about it. Valentine's Day, all those kind of things. I'm also a little bummed that like we're celebrating Iowa getting sold out when a top 10 team's coming to town. Like it's almost a little depressing that it shouldn't be to the mean where like now that's the celebration. It was yesterday. Like you go to social media and it's like, it was like that picture came up so much. Nicholas, you know that place when it's full, you know what it means. Thoughts on Purdue being sold out? And am I the only person that's kind of like, cool, but let's make this more of the norm than just a one time a year type of thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think that'll be more of the trend. I think, I've definitely played in Carver when that place is rocking, place is sold out. It's a different environment for sure. I think obviously having a Saturday afternoon game, that's going to help a lot for sure. But I think what you'll see more and more is Carver being a bit more full, which is great for the program and everything. So I think as it becomes, continues to be a bit more regular, I think that'll be great. But again, it really is different though when that place is sold out. Like I know sometimes Carver can get a bad rap from time to time, but when that place is full, like it's a different environment for sure. And excited for a good one against Purdue.
Oh, I get so mad when people say it's the building. It's Carver's problem. Like they haven't been to a women's basketball game in the last 3 years when Caitlin was there, or it was with you, Nicholas. I remember there's a Michigan State game that always rings in my head because you buried a couple threes, and I remember shooting from the baseline and going back to Baer cage. I want to say you were even wearing like a gray. You guys might have been wearing alternate jerseys or something like that. See, that's I can't remember my kids' birthdays, but I remember Baer cage banging home a bunch of threes against Michigan State. That place gets really, really loud. Last basketball one for you, and then I'm gonna let Nicholas go because he's got a real life and all that kind of stuff, and I want to talk with Tommy a little more after the break about Jay Norvell coming back to Iowa. I watched a lot of Big Ten basketball last night, and it's such a good conference. Big picture for this, Illinois had a huge victory last night. They won by 40. They looked dominant. Michigan State loses. I thought it was a great night of basketball. Yes, people complain because they have to stay up till 10 o'clock, but that's fun if you don't have to, you got 6.5 hours straight worth of basketball. What's the Big Ten to you? Can you handicap it for me? Is it Michigan, Illinois, everybody else? Is Illinois the best team of the Big Ten? I know you have to be nice to teams you don't like, Nicholas, but
I know.
What are your thoughts on the Big Ten in general?
I think it's, as the season's gone on here a little bit, and this kind of generally happens early February, the certain tiers solidify, I think. And I think the important thing about this Iowa stretch here, winning 5 in a row, is this team's kind of moved up into that, not the top tier maybe, but that second group. But I feel like there's kind of a top 7 now. That top 7 is kind of solidified a little bit. And then, a few bubble teams fighting it out, and then a pretty stark cliff at the bottom, I would say, has been my experience. So, I think Illinois was up 50 at one point against Northwestern last night. So, obviously I know Northwestern not, world beaters by any means this year, but at the same token, Illinois is really talented, really big, really strong, and can definitely make a deep run. I think top 3 for me is probably that Michigan, Nebraska, Illinois tier. I feel like you're kind of the top 3 there, but again, a lot of basketball still here to be played. And I think I saw something I think I think it's Michigan State had one of like the highest college basketball ratings in the last like 3 or 4 years, which just more so speaks to one, the Big Ten, but just the product of college basketball. I know it's easy to kind of like hate on, hey, NIL era, or hey, I'm not as invested, but like it's from a product lens, it's definitely still performing, which makes me as a college basketball head very excited about.
Tommy, is it Michigan, Illinois, Nebraska? Did Bear Cage nail it?
Yeah, I think so. I think everybody else is kind of a level behind right now. Purdue is just not. There's something off about them right now. They're just not playing great. That doesn't mean they won't make a run in March because they've got all the pieces to do it. But Nebraska, we'll see. Michigan State, they've got a guard who seems to want to kick people in the groin, I guess.
Am I crazy that Michigan State's going to beat Illinois on Saturday?
Probably.
Not crazy.
Is it?
It's at the
Is it
President's
at
Center.
Michigan State?
Michigan State, They're coming off a loss. They're going to muddy it up. Did you see what Lucas said about Michigan State and the rims? Nicholas,
is that true?
Your thoughts? Is he crazy?
I did see it. I do not like shooting on that rim. That's true. I would say the only thing would be like, both teams shoot on that rims, over the course of the game. But I would say that is one of my least favorite rims to shoot on in the Big Ten, in my experience. So not completely without merit for my guy Luka Garza, always speaking some truth.
Luka's killing it. I love it. You know who else is killing it, Tommy? Doesn't the Bear Cage do a great job?
He does.
I'm calling
do this for a living.
And I was going to say in like 5 years, he's not even going to return our text messages. He's going to be like, who is this guy? Why does this dad? Tommy will be dead probably, but like, who is this?
Yeah, they will.
That was mean, and I mean that. That's all joking. Tommy will live forever, right, Tommy?
No.
Yes, you will.
No.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let Bear Cage get back to work. Tommy, stick around.
Yes.
We're gonna talk a little Jay Norvell right after the break. You're watching OTA on a Thursday right here in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back.
Give me the keys.
Learning to drive can be stressful for both the student and, yes, the parent as well. Relax. There's an easy way to avoid the stress. Skiles Driving School in East Moline has been helping new drivers hit the road with confidence for over 20 years. Whether you're a teen earning your first license or an adult looking for behind-the-wheel training, we've got you covered. Their certified instructors are patient, experienced, and use modern vehicles equipped for safety and comfort. From classroom instruction to real-world driving, we make learning safe, affordable, and even fun. Call 309-278-0098 or visit skylesdriving.com. Skiles Driving School. Get in, buckle up, drive your future forward.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Just got done talking a lot of Iowa basketball, Big Ten basketball with Nicholas Baer and Tom Kakert. Made Tommy stick around because he has no life. No, I'm just kidding. What, are you going to go back to bed? You got a nap in you today?
Probably. No, we got Iowa Baseball Media Day today. So Kyle and I are going to be at Baseball Media Day. So I got to go see my guy Rick Heller. Talk some baseball.
I haven't bugged Kyle yet, but I'm looking at my Friday show and I'm like putting it together. I want to do some stuff if Roger Craig makes the Hall of Fame and those kind of things. And I'm like, well, the women play on Thursday, and now that you mentioned baseball, I might as well just give Kyle the show. Like, I'm thinking about making it part of the show.
How many Bettendorf guys can you have on?
That's
you got
true.
Nicholas, you got Anger, you got Kyle. I mean, you just,
Wow, I didn't realize my Bettendorf bias was what it was.
I think you're like 70% Bulldog now.
I might be.
You're still like 30% Pioneer. And 70% Bulldog.
I don't know. Yeah, because I got Johnny on Davenport West. You're representing the Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons.
Well, I wanted to keep you for another quick segment because Jay Norvell is staying in Iowa City, and he's somebody that he was an honorary captain this year. Obviously, let go from Colorado State early this season, and he was on the Hawkeye Tailgate show. I'd never met him. I can't say enough nice things about him. I know it's a small sample size and all that kind of stuff, but before and after the interview itself, and of course he's one of those 85 guys. He was with Chuck and all those guys and had great success at Iowa. Had never been back to a University of Iowa football game until this past season, and now he's coming back as a offensive analyst, I think, something like that. What do you know about what he's going to be doing? And boy, I think it's just a great fit.
Yeah, he's taken the spot that Warren Ruggiero had, and Warren left to go to Virginia Tech as an analyst position. I think he wanted to get back to that neck of the woods. That's kind of his area, so he wanted to get back there. So Jay, it's interesting because Jay played defensive back, but most of his coaching career has been on the offensive side of the football, wide receiver, and coached some quarterbacks, coordinated offense at Oklahoma. For Coach Stoops. So he's been a head coach at Nevada, at Colorado State, varying degrees of success. Obviously got let go last year, so things were not going well for him, but I think he's still got a lot to offer. Very well respected in the coaching community. I think he'll bring some new ideas to the table because of the offenses that he's worked in and been around, particularly with the air raid, the pistol kind of stuff that they did at Nevada. So he's got a lot to offer, I think, and just another set of very, I think he's 62, so he's seen a lot of football, and he's going to see things with this team that maybe guys that are too close to it or see it every day don't notice, and I think it's going to really help them. So great hire. Kirk always seems to find the right guys, and I think having Coach Norvell around will be really good for him.
You look at that staff now, and I kind of, not your expertise at the University of Illinois by any stretch of the imagination, but Aaron Henry leaves there as their DC. Obviously Brett's a different than Kirk, but came up in that system. At Iowa, when you lose, like when LeVar left, it was most likely they're going to find somebody in-house to move up. Like, there's so many common guys at Iowa. I guess my question is a little bit about Illinois, because you probably don't know what they do, but I'm curious what they do. And at Iowa, it's almost you're just developing like you develop players, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's guys that understand the culture. And, with Pelozzi coming in as the new special teams coordinator, he's been there. He was a GA there. He's been within the program again for another year. So he understood the culture of what Iowa football was about, and what makes it different, and what makes it unique, and what makes it tick, and what Kirk Ferentz expects from you on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure Jay understands that. As a guy who's been a head coach, he's going to understand what's needed there. He's going to understand what his responsibilities are going to be in terms of helping prepare a game plan with Tim Lester, and putting a different set of eyes on it, and working hard to develop those players too. So that's the thing, because everything, like with Norvell, he learned under playing for Coach Fry. So that's where he understands Iowa. He knows what it takes. So it's I think going to be a really good fit.
Last one for you about football. We had Nick Baumgartner on yesterday. If you missed it, go back and check it out. Broke down NFL draft when it comes to Hawkeye prospects, and yes, there's probably not a first round pick, but there's a lot of guys about to get drafted. A couple things I wanted to ask you about. He mentioned that now that Saban's gone, you look around and it might be the biggest secret in college football / the NFL draft, but if you're an Iowa guy, Like, it might be the program that general managers and scouts look at when it comes to college football. He raved about it. Then you saw Cooper, I believe, on McAfee or somebody talking about the same thing, how the Iowa program and the NFL looks at the Iowa program. Tommy, people like this coming out and talking, one, it helps Iowa program now, but it's true. Like, there's something about Iowa guys going to the NFL. It could be the most ever in one draft this year, couldn't it?
Yeah, they could have 7 or 8 guys drafted this year, which would be the record for, a Ferentz coached team. And it just makes sense. I mean, we've heard this for years. If you talk to NFL scouts, they'll say, when I get an Iowa guy coming in, I know what I'm getting. I know he's going to show up. He's going to work. He's not going to be a problem. There's just Iowa runs their program very professionally, and there's an expectation. And if you come out of that program, that's what those guys at the NFL level, they don't want headaches. They don't. But they want talent, but they want guys that are going to be good guys that come in. They're just going to work, and you're not going to have to babysit them, not going to have to worry about them, and not going to have to argue with them about different things. They're just going to come in, put their hard hat on, and go to work. And that's Iowa football, and that's why they've always liked Iowa. I mean, they're just like, I know what I'm getting with an Iowa guy, and that's what you hear all the time.
Last one for you. One of that I was kind of surprised by. We know that Mark Gronowski played really well at the Shrine Bowl. I asked him, because you go back to week 4, week 5, and you say Luke Altmaier or Mark Gronowski, who's playing the NFL on Sundays, and most everybody probably would have said Luke Altmaier. He likes both of them, but I was surprised to hear him say that right now he'd take Mark Gronowski, or he thinks Mark Gronowski would get drafted over Luke Altmaier. I love the fact that Mark Gronowski's showing different things and playing well, and I think he's going to be an NFL quarterback. That's a cool thing because he's a winner. The fans loved him, and it'd be great to see an Iowa quarterback drafted in the NFL draft, wouldn't it? It's been forever since what, CJ?
Yeah, since Beathard, but unless you consider Jake Rudock,
I don't, but.
You don't consider Jake Rudock an Iowa quarterback too. That was another one that was around that same time.
Yeah.
It would be cool because Mark was going to probably get drafted last year. That was kind of his decision, but he wanted to get that shoulder healthy, and things weren't easy during the year. But once he got himself healthy, he had the knee issue after the Indiana game, and had to deal with that. But once he got healthy, I thought he played pretty good football, and I think they'll just like him because he's a guy that can come in. He's not going to command starting minutes, not going to be a headache, but he's going to work hard, can do some different things. Maybe he can be like a Taysom Hill kind of guy, where he can come in and fill a lot of different roles and have like the Swiss Army knife to him. We'll see.
Yeah, no, he mentioned that. Doc mentioned that as well. So go back, listen to yesterday's OTA. Nick Baumgartner from The Athletic, outstanding stuff. Really enjoyed my conversation with him. Even talked a little Bears and what they might do with all that kind of stuff as well.
You talked a lot of Lions, though.
I talked a little Lions, a little bit of Lions. Before I let you go, easiest question. Give me a Super Bowl prediction. Give me the final score.
I'm picking Seattle. I think they're going to win pretty comfortably, like 27-10, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have like 27-14, 27-17. I do think they win by 10 points. I think they could win by 10 points. I don't know if it's not going to be a blowout, but I see them scoring light to comfortably win by hopefully.
If you dabble in the dark arts of sports gambling, find some of those alternate lines with Seattle if you think they're going to win by 10 or more. And you can make a little more juice for the squeeze.
Let's just hope they win by 4 or more if you have 3.5. And I hate having the hook because so many games come down to a field goal, but I feel pretty good about this one that the AFC wasn't very good and the NFC was. So, Tommy, enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy, what is it, Northwestern, Iowa on Sunday?
Sunday, I'll be working.
Sunday. And then, don't say it like that.
No football.
And then baseball. Make sure you check out what Kyle and Tom get from the Iowa Baseball Media Day. It's what, February 5th? It's Iowa Baseball.
Yeah, they're playing baseball
Media
in a
Day.
week.
It's crazy.
Playing baseball in a week.
It's wild. So, Tommy, I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks.
All right, that is Tom Kakert. Kind of talking a little more football. I wanted to keep him for one more segment to kind of talk about the Jay Norvell's thing. I think it's fantastic. I'm going to effort to get Jay on the show. I don't know how easy that's going to be, but I'm going to effort to get Jay on the show maybe sometime next week or the week after, whenever they let him talk. So we got more to get to coming up on the show. Kevin Gorgle, and if you know Western Big Six football, you know who Kevin Gorgle is. A mainstay at Moline for more than 30 years as the assistant coach, an Alleman alum, been around the conference forever. He's officially retiring, so he's done coaching at Moline, and we're going to have him talk to us about the memories of 30-plus years in the Western Big Six and Moline football and a bunch more. He's coming up right after the break. You're watching OTA. It's Thursday right here in the Quad Cities. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. When you cover the area for as long as I got to, I was blessed to, you guys had to put up with, you meet a lot of good people along the way, a lot of good coaches you get to know, and a lot of people that are mainstays at different schools. As you go to one school to the next, you see somebody and it's like, okay, that person kind of represents what that program is. And when it comes to Moline football, one of those guys is Kevin Gorgal. Been there for 3 decades, been through 6 head coaches, and Kevin joins us now. Kevin finally got fired, which is a shame. No, I'm just kidding. Kevin, you're retiring at the end of the school year, meaning you're done coaching after 33 years. Kind of take me through the decision. You're a young pup. You look as young as ever. Take me through the decision and what was it like to kind of come to that conclusion?
Well, my teaching career, 33 years, was going to be finished at the end of the school year. Mike Morrissey obviously left the door open for me to continue coaching. But my son, Bennett, is playing up at North Central, and I want to have the flexibility and the time to follow his career the next 3 years. And this year we made it work. He was a JV player, which played on Sundays. But hopefully next year he'll be getting in on the varsity games, which are played on Saturdays. So again, just to step back and give myself and my family some flexibility to go and see him.
33 years coaching football at Moline. When you hear that number, what pops into your head?
It's a long time. Doesn't seem like it was 33 years. But yeah, it's a career. It's a long time.
You look at it and 14 conference championships, every Moline playoff victory, I think you've been there for. You've watched and if that's not true, Mike told me that, so blame him.
Yeah, Coach Unruh, I think. Coach Unruh had a win. Late 70s, and Dan McGuire had a Pekin victory 2 years before I got there.
Gotcha. So the majority of those wins when you were there. Can you talk about what that program has meant to you? I know you've meant a lot to that program, but what has that program meant to you?
It's meant the world to me and my family. My wife has been with me. Our first date was a scouting trip to Rock Island High School. My daughter grew up.
Cheapskate.
Yeah, I know that we got in free too. My daughter was up there with me during workouts, doing cadences for sprint starts, and then obviously my son Bennett came through the program as well. So my dad had a couple of years where he coached in the program with me at the freshman level. So it's meant a lot to our family over the years.
To watch the growth of the program, and every program has peaks, valleys, ups, downs, all those kind of things. But watch the growth of what Moline football now is, and I think every coach, every decade, kind of probably added to that tradition. What has it been like watching the maturation of a program, if that makes any sense?
Well, Dan, I was fortunate enough to be hired by Dan McGuire, and he's an old school coach, and defense, run the ball, tough players, and I think that has held true through all 33 years, especially now under Mike Morrissey. We want to run the ball and play solid defense. We've always had great kids who knew how to work and have gone on to be outstanding in their lives. And so I guess I'm just a fortunate person to be in the right place at the right time.
You have worked under, I believe, 6 head coaches at Moline.
Yes.
I don't want you to, I could be fun. Who was your favorite? Who'd you hate the most? No, I won't do that to you, but I'm sure all of them gave you something or a different perspective. A lot of them, worked together, overlapped, all those kind of things. When you look at those 6 head coaches, I know you got to be extremely proud of the fact that you worked with the men that you got to work with at Moline High School.
Oh, without a doubt. They're all outstanding men to begin with who cared about their players. They're all good family men. And I was fortunate they left me alone to work in the weight room with the players and to coach the offensive line. My first 2 loves, and I'm forever grateful for those opportunities.
You look at that and you get to, what is it about coaching that you love? You talk about the offensive line, you talk about the weight room, and in today's day and age, things continue to get different or everything's changing, if you will. What is it about coaching high school football that's simple to you that you love? Well,
you bring them in as 13 and 14-year-old freshmen, and you watch them develop over the next 4 years. And honestly, the weight room is where I felt I had more connection with the kids. We spend more time in the weight room than we did playing football throughout a calendar year. And just to see them develop, boys to men, I guess you could say, and then we keep in contact after they graduate and they go on and do great things.
I know that's one thing that Mike talks a lot about with the program is the guys that go graduate and then come back and you have those relationships for a lifetime. Can you talk about that as well? Because you get to coach and to develop young men, and then you watch them become, I don't want to say old men, but you become dads and husbands and those kind of things as well. Talk about that side of things when it comes to coaching.
Well, there's many guys I've coached their fathers years ago. Now I've coached their sons most recently. Um, like Brennan Woods, a former player, he does my house remodels. Drew Vickroy works on my cars, and Sean Hobbenstein, an electrician, has done some work in my house. So, Ben Admonson, I put him in contact with some former players about career opportunities. So, going through the years, it kind of comes full circle, and that's just the great thing about coaching high school is you get those opportunities.
Kevin Gorgle from Moline joining us right now on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Kevin, you look at that program and everything that you guys have accomplished and those kind of things. And everybody talks about college or high school kids being different. I don't want to be the old guy, but it's like the kids in my day, they're different. And my perspective when I did it for 25 years and they didn't seem to change that much. Like I know people think they did, but the good kids were still the good kids and kids were still kids. What's different between 33 years ago? What's the biggest difference? Tough one between 33 years ago and now when it comes to high school football.
The game's changed. And so with that, that's changed the kids' mindsets. They want to throw the ball. They want to play in space, those kinds of things. But bottom line is whatever's going to help them be successful. And I think the program we've had over the years have put kids in positions, whether it's playing offense, defense, some special teams. Billy Hallgren, being a great place kicker in Northern Iowa. But kids just want to play. They want to have fun. They want to be successful, and they want to work hard, especially when they see that will give them success.
Great point. Coach, you look at it too. You've gotten a lot of great kids in that program. You've gotten a lot of fun games in that program. I'll start asking the tough questions. What games stick out the most to you? I don't want to say what's your favorite game. That's tough because 33 years times 9 or 10 or 11. I don't want to even start going through it. A lot of games. Math is not my specialty. What games stand out to you when it comes to Moline football over the last 33 years?
97 Rock Island at Browning Field.
Tell me about it.
15-12, I believe, was the final score. And Coach Boblet had some great teams. And we had some great rivalry games back then. The stands were full by halftime of the sophomore game. They were 3 and 4 deep around.
Wow.
We came up short that night. Rock Island went on that year to win second in state. But that Rock Island rivalry was always a fun night for us. There've been other games too. Always playing against Alleman, obviously my alma mater. When Coach Tracy became the head coach at United Township, playing against him since he was my head coach. So there've been a lot of conference games like that. Playing some Mount Carmels and that in the playoffs. Some of those storied programs. You see why they're as successful as they are because they're pretty good. I'd say those games probably stand out.
Oh, absolutely. I hate to say players because it's like picking your favorite kid, although your son played for you. So I'm going to assume he's your favorite player. Maybe besides Bennett, you can talk about Bennett if you'd like to as well. Some of the players that stand out the most in 33 years. Be careful. I know you'll forget some and you hate doing that, all that kind of stuff. But favorite players over the years.
Oh, boy, I've had so many. I mean, it's, like I mentioned earlier, you get to know them in the weight room and in practice and in the locker room, and they all have their personalities, and they're just fun kids to be around. As for my son, obviously he was injured his senior year, didn't play. It still breaks my heart, but he's gone on to great things at North Central. But, I hate to say one particular player because they're all special for their own reason.
No, absolutely. Coach, you look at the Western Big Six and you talked about it. You're an Alleman grad. Mike Tracy, UT, Rock Island, Vic Bobble, and all those kind of things. And in a day and age where we're trying to protect conferences and maybe protect tradition when it comes to the Western Big Six, you're a Moline guy. You're an Alleman grad. I feel like you're a Western Big Six guy too. Does that make any sense? And what is it about that conference that makes it maybe special each Friday night?
Well, you may know this, but isn't it one of the longest original conferences still intact in the state?
Yeah, 100%.
Outside maybe like the Catholic League or something like that, or Public League. But, my wife's at United Township, so we got that going as well. And, it's just the history of it going way back when I was playing. I believe there were 5 Hall of Fame coaches coaching in the conference. Between that and basketball and the successes, baseball and softball, and, the Big Six has done well versus the rest of the state in a lot of sports. And, we're trying to turn that corner in football and get over that second round hump from a Moline standpoint. But I know Coach Boblet had a couple good runs and that, but just the history of it. I'm a history buff. I love it. And just everything that goes along with it. Coach Morris and an Alleman and everything that he had and stood for as well.
Kevin, I got to talk about present day a little bit before I let you go. A few years ago, I thought it was the best banquet I've ever been a part of because Mike Morrissey had COVID, although I think he was recruiting, but that's a whole different thing. Or maybe he was just sick. I don't even know what it was. I should be careful I don't get myself in trouble. But you got to take the microphone. And you've been at the Western Big Six banquet a ton, watching and listening to those guys. You could have been a head coach, but you weren't. What did you just love what you got to do? Kind of take me through that thought process of 33 years.
I applied for one head coaching position, and it was in conjunction with an athletic director's position as well. I went for the interview and found out they filled the athletic director spot the day before. So that I pulled my name out of that running. I love what I do. I mean, probably the best thing to happen to me is I did not get a head coaching job because most head coaches, their tenure isn't as long as I've been fortunate to have 33 years. So the good Lord said, you're an offensive line coach, you're a strength coach, and this is what you're going to do, and I have no regrets.
I love Coach Barber over at Alleman, but I'm starting the rumor now here on the show that you're going to be the next head coach of the Alleman Pine. I'm just kidding.
Let's put that to rest right now.
I'm just kidding. Hey, if McGuire can come back this year, you're probably too young to come back right now. You got to wait a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, I think Coach McGuire said that he coached for 25 years. And then when he took the Sherrard job, it had been 25 years since he coached. Well, that's going to put me at 85, so that's not going to happen.
I love it. Kevin, before I let you go, I can't let you get out of here. We've got to make fun of Mike. You always want to leave the program in better place than when you got it, if that makes any sense. The jersey, all those kind of things. First will be nice. Talk about the head coach at Moline, what he's done with that program. And I know that you're very confident in what Moline football will look like in future years to come.
Yeah, Mike brings an energy and really an old school thought to the game. Obviously, his dad is a Hall of Fame coach, state champion coach, Ed, over at Pleasant Valley. And so with our offense, our wing T offense, and our tough defense mindsets, that's old school football. But, when Mike, he's running the scout team offense at quarterback and he completes a touchdown pass, he's talking more junk than any sixth grader I've ever seen in my life. But he brings that energy. The kids love it. We all love it. And that's part of the draw of having kids come and play for us, is they know that they're going to be having a good time. Their head coach has a good time with the game, and I got a visitor. Now my dog's barking, but that's what Mike means. And he may change a little bit with the game, probably not a whole lot, because that's his mindset and that's what he believes in and that's what works. But That's Mike.
Okay, I can't leave with that. Does he really shave his legs? Is this true?
Honestly, I haven't looked at his legs that closely. If you say he does, okay, I'll go along with that.
I love it, Coach. I love it. No, he's a great guy. You, my friend, are a good guy as well. 33 years as a coach at Moline. What will next year be like on a Friday night?
Different, that's for sure.
Where will you be? Have you thought about, will I be in the stands? Will I watch from home? Have you thought about that far?
Well, I according to my son, Bennett, North Central has a game on a Friday night, tentatively scheduled next year, so that'll take care of 1 week. But when I talked to Coach DeJager after he retired, he said he's going to sit in the front or the top row of the stands, have a hot dog, and start yelling, "Throw the football." So maybe I'll do that.
I love it. I do that. I'll miss seeing you when you get to practice and all that kind of stuff, but I'm sure I will see you all over the place. Congratulations, young man. Enjoy retirement, and thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate you and everything you've done over the years. One thing people don't understand is the amount of coverage that our kids get in this area, print and radio and TV. It's unmatched, and so we're appreciative of you and all your years and everybody else that's in your business. So thank you.
I appreciate it, my friend. Be good. We'll talk soon.
Very good.
All right. That is Kevin Gorgle joining us on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. 33 years. Look at the young man. He doesn't look like he's been coaching for 33 years, but he's given so much to that Moline program. We'd love to take the chance to kind of celebrate him a little bit here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. We got much more to get to. We'll have more on OTA right after this. We'll be right back.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. It's been a fun week here on the show, from Taylor Panel to Nick Baumgardner to Rob Brooks and everything in between. We've had a really fun week of shows. I kind of joked with some friends earlier this week because my wife's out of town. So I'm balancing this goofy little show with 4 kids and life and everything else. And it gets things behind. But I wanted to make sure we chatted with our good friend Johnny Marx this week on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo because there's a lot I want to talk to you about. And I think first and foremost, hello, how are you? Good to see you. All those kind of things.
I'm well.
Mr.
I appreciate
Mr. Hall of Famer. Do I have to call you Mr. Hall of Famer?
Okay. As long as, yes, thank you. Not the first one, not boasting, just, yes, grateful.
Yeah.
And got to spend some time with some guys I haven't seen in decades. And Matty, you did, and you don't need me to stroke you here, Pally. You were phenomenal. I took a bunch of crap. I've already seen the video. So sleep with one eye open. Everyone knows that I had a television commitment before I got to the Hall of Fame ceremony, and it was beautiful. And you did a great job, kid. And I'm grateful for your time and the nice things that were said about me and all the jabs. But
people know out there, the 75 Alleman football team, which is the first Alleman football team that went through boosters, fantastic team, and for some reason they weren't in the Hall of Fame at Alleman, and it was weird to me. And the people on that team, and yourself excluded, not just talking about you, but when you go Todd DePorter and you go Dave DeJager and you go some of the names on that team that made an impact at Alleman, it was silly that was in the Hall of Fame. So they got in, but I thought it was cool because our good friend Jerry Burkhead got in at the old age of 38 or 39. I can't remember which one he is. So we're gonna have to do this again sometime when he goes and coaches for another 20 years later when his kids get older and wins a bunch more games. Owen Doak, which was great to get, and Garen Grigsby got in, and it was a fun. And the best part of the night, Johnny, that I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about.
Sean Weatherall.
Oh my gosh! If Marlene's watching this, I would have been killed. And Sean Weatherall, my second favorite Weatherall after Anna.
Anna.
But Father Mirabelli was in the house.
Yeah.
And I said kind of at the end, like Alleman, and every community is. I'm not just saying this about Alleman, but every high school community is special. I think the Alleman community is special, but it's just more special when Father's there. And he was there, and it just felt right, didn't it?
Yeah, yes, and we all know Father is my brilliant still, crisp, can't get around like he used to. We understand that. He's in his mid-90s. Alleman would not, and you know this, Matty, as well as anybody, and I know we get crap for being Alleman guys. That building would be empty, and I promise you this, if it was not for Father Mirabelli. He has always been and always will be the heart and soul. I will never forgive that previous administration who tried to push him to the sidelines when he was so vibrant and so important to the well-being and all the good things. Matty, when Father talked to you, you were as a young person, I was honored, and I took him. He taught history. I took as many history classes as I could with Father Mirabelli in high school. It helped that I played football and baseball. That got me to the end because being an athlete. But he was phenomenal. He still is. The place would not be there without him. And it is truly a magical time when he's around. And for however long we have him, and I hope we have him for another 10 years, he's amazing.
No, it just felt good. The reason why you took so many history classes because you kept failing the damn history class, Johnny. Let's be honest.
Well, I knew as a football and a baseball player with Father, I wasn't going to fail.
Yeah, that's true.
But he would always take that. Yeah, my son. And then, you know this as well as anybody, Matt. When Father picked up the phone and called you and said, "Son, Father needs you," you took your wallet, your checkbook, and whatever other means of, and your bank account numbers, and just walked up and sat it on his desk and said, "Father, take what you need."
I get, and we want to talk Roger Craig in a second, but a friend of ours that I'll tell you later who it is told me one time, this was years ago. He goes, Father called me and I felt bad. And I'm like, why? And he goes, because he's like, Father needs you. And I'm like, yeah, what do you need, Father? He goes, do you have it in your heart to give? And he's like, Father, I have it in my heart. I don't have it in my bank account right now. And he's like, I felt like I was letting everybody down, but like, yeah, when Father called, you listened and you gave because he gave to you. It was a fun night, great night at Alleman on Friday. So for everybody that's getting cranky that we're talking so much Alleman stuff, we'll move on. Roger Craig, it's Thursday. The announcements come today. The show's going on right now. We taped this a tiny bit before the show. So if people are watching this at 11 o'clock and you're like, you idiots, he's in. I think he's going to get in. I know that reports yesterday on Wednesday have him finally getting in.
Yep.
Johnny, I don't get like part of it's like you're a Hall of Famer or you're not a Hall of Famer. And he's a Hall of Famer. You look at it, 3-time Super Bowl champion, was the first player to ever have 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in the same season. The Super Bowl is out in Santa Clara, out in the Bay Area. He deserves it this year. He deserved it 10 years ago.
Absolutely. And again, and before I finish talking about Roger, I'm going to tell you that he wasn't even the best running back in his family. So we'll get to that with all due respect. And Artie, if you're watching, Curtis was as good as it gets. So, Maddie, the numbers alone, as you just said, the 1,000 yards receiving, the 1,000 yards rushing, should end the 3 Super Bowls and longevity for doing this over a lengthy period of time with the 49ers, and then in the end with the Raiders should have had him 20 years ago. You said 10. Should have been in the Hall of Fame. Matt, those numbers, just the overall numbers, are worthy. Plus, he's a champion. But the thing of it is, Roger is A, a wonderful man, B, has never promoted himself, and I think that's one of the things that hurt him along the way. He, like Kenny Anderson, who I think should get in, but we don't know if that's going to happen today. They've never boasted or went to anybody and said, hey, I should be a Hall of Famer. There are others that are more high profile that have been in that they are deserving, but he never beat his own drum. And again, I hate to harken back to it, Matt. The numbers speak for themselves. And 3, he's got 3 rings. That right there. We talk about Eli Manning being 117 in the regular season, who eventually will get in the Hall of Fame because he has 2 Super Bowl victories as a quarterback. So again, he was the center of that rushing attack. I know Tom Rathman was huge. Anytime you play with Jerry Rice, you're in his shadow. Even Dwight Clark, who his numbers may not add up, but he's a champion, so he should end up in the Hall of Fame. Joe Montana. If you ask any of the guys he played with, they'll think that signature high knee move toward the goal line is vintage Roger Craig, and he should have been wearing a gold jacket long, long ago.
No, well said. Well said. John Marx joining us right now on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Just wrapped up with Kevin Gorgal, and he's a guy who's been in the Western Big Six for his entire life, an Alleman guy. I joked with him, Johnny. I said, are you stepping down at Moline so you can take over at your alma mater if that's ever needed? And I love Coach Barber, so we don't want to do anything like that. And he said, just stop. But he started at Alleman. He went to Moline. He's been there for 33 years. His wife's a UT girl, I believe. Western Big Six is just in his blood. Moline is in his blood. And I know you're an Alleman guy that had a lot of battles with those Moline guys. Kevin Gorgle's as good as it gets, isn't it?
You knew, and he would help all the times that we at all in coaching. You had certain responsibilities. And then everybody had a responsibility with the varsity. We all had jobs with the varsity in the game. So if I coached with the sophomores at 5:30 and called the defense, I had to deal with Kevin Gorgle and all his brilliance when it came to his guys up front. He was an offensive genius and a genius when it came to line play because he was a great lineman in his own right, playing in, I believe, Northeast Missouri State, which is now Truman. Tremendous player, as hard-nosed as you ever want to run across a player in his. And I won't tell you that I saw him clean house one night in a local saloon, but we'll leave that. Somebody got lippy and Kevin defended somebody and somebody else lost. So it wasn't Kevin. But great human being. And to this day, and this will tell you something about Kevin's upbringing, to this day when I see his father, it's that twitchy nervousness that Coach Gorgle is around because he was coaching at Rock Island and then became Allman principal not too long after. When I was in high school, Coach Gorgle was teaching at Rock Island, and he would grab you. And Coach Gorgle was that guy before, and this is Kevin's dad, who was that weight training guy long before it was fashionable. And he'd grab you by the hand, shake your hand, and then he'd grab you by the right arm or left arm, and you couldn't move. You were locked in the conversation. He taught me eye-to-eye contact with adults because he held me there and said, look, we're going to have about a 5-minute conversation, son. And all that worked into his son. And Kevin is a straightforward guy. He knows how to deal with young people. It is a huge, huge loss for Moline in their PE and driver's ed, because he's the head of the driver's ed department. Huge loss in the building, but even bigger loss on Friday nights in the conference, and the young people that, and as somebody who got to coach against him and just call him a friend, he's an amazing dude. And if I was going out looking for trouble on a Friday, I would take him with me and have, like Mark Johnson, who those are the two guys you can talk crap and have them stand behind you. But the other part of it is he's a genuine person who cares about everybody he coached, cared about everybody he coached, and just always did things, and still does in life and as a coach, the right way, Matt. And is a huge, huge loss, not just for X's and O's, but for the personality and the upliftness of, if that's a word, in the conference. Great dude, and I admire him with every ounce that I have.
You can tell he can still go. I mean, he's still young enough. He can still go. He's getting out because he can retire as a teacher, but he's also going to go watch his son play college football. And you can relate. That's something that's very important to go do. So we wish Kevin the best. I want to talk a little Illinois with you, because we talked a lot of Iowa. It was a late night game. I know I had Nicholas and I had Tom set up. They won by 40 last night. And that was supposed to be, not that I thought they'd lose to Northwestern, but they just beat Nebraska on the road. They're going to the Breslin Center on Saturday. They're supposed to sleepwalk through a home game against Northwestern, still win by 15 or whatever, but kind of sleepwalk a little bit, be okay. They've been so dominant of late, and now the win streak, I think, is to 12 games. They're fifth in the country. And I always thought, like, for the longest time, they're really good, but there's going to be maybe a more athletic team, or they're not. Are we talking an Elite Eight, Final Four type team right now?
Absolutely, and I think Colton kind of hit on it the other day when he talked about the athleticism that runs through that program, and the thing that I admired that Colton mentioned, Colton Sigel, they get along. I mean, and we're talking about the game at the college level today, where certain guys are making a lot of money, and there could be some disparity there with guys being upset about, oh, he's getting this and he's getting. That's not the case with this group. They get along, they play extremely well together. They have that perimeter game, which we all know of, but they can drop the ball in the post and go that in out, and then run that high screen and roll game. But they also, Maddie, and this is what I saw last night, and I only watched them for about 8 minutes. They still defend. If you looked up for just a second, it was 62-22, I think. I know it ended up being a 40-point game, but that was right at the end of the first half, or just the beginning of the second half, and they were defending. And Chris Collins, Northwestern's a good basketball team. Chris Collins is a tremendous basketball coach. Illinois, they were outmatched from the jump, and I have to give them credit. What I've noticed is, and this is really hard to do in the I got to get mine world, is they distribute the basketball. If someone's hot, they make sure he stays within the framework. Wagner is the flavor of the month. We know that. But they have probably 5 guys that can shoot the ball from 14 to 19 feet and a little beyond. And they have people that know their roles, defend. And that's the other thing that surprised me, is especially at Nebraska, they defended their butts off when they had to, especially in the second half. So you tell me, number 5, absolutely. Yeah. Elite 8, probably, pal.
It's weird because, I mean, Iowa's known for defense. They play better defense in the second half. But Iowa gave up 48 points to Washington in the first half. Illinois gave up 44 points in the entire game. And that's the one thing people were concerned about. Illinois, they're tall, they're lanky, they can spread you out, they have shooters. They're doing all of this without Kylan Boswell, which is crazy to even think. Right. And then you look, and if they can play defense the way they played, I will say this, and this isn't to hate Illinois by any stretch, because I think they're a really, really, really good basketball team. Be careful on Saturday. They got to go to the Breslin Center, and that place is tough to play. They're coming off a loss to Minnesota. They're gonna make it grimy and grind you and all those kind of things. And also, I'm a proponent or an advocate of kind of your due to lose. And like, I feel like Illinois might be due to lose a game. And if you look on the schedule, that's the one. But regardless, just really impressed with what Illinois is doing. Big game on Sunday. It's the Super Bowl. I'm going to finish with this. Do you have a prediction? Do you still care about the game, don't you? Like, I got a wife that's wondering about the halftime show and the coin toss. Although I don't know if I told you this, Johnny. I think I have. Do you know my lovely wife has placed a wager on heads or tails for the past, what are we married? I'm going to get in trouble, for 15 plus years.
19.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's never won.
Mrs. Randazzo got that little taste of the game.
She's never won. Heads or tails. I'm not kidding. I'm going to tell people tomorrow. I've been waiting for her to text me. She's on out of town, I hope on business. she's supposed to text me.
I wouldn't blame her if she wasn't.
Because I want to tell people on Friday, like, hey, fade my wife. Whatever she takes the opposite. It's a winner every time. Just your thoughts on the Super Bowl itself and then the actual game itself.
Okay, I'll wake up from my nap because it's yawned so far. And that's the way, and keep that, that's the way Mike Grable wants this. My heart, I'm a huge, bigger than life Mike Vrabel fan. Players coach, probably the only guy in the world that made Tom Brady's day, his life miserable every day, playing on the scout team when he was a star with the Patriots, and took scout team reps, A, to get better, B, to mess with Tom Brady. So that part I love. Again, I'd like to see the Patriots win, but I think Seattle wins the football game, Matty. They have the receiving core. Charbonnet being out hurts them in the run game, but and it would be total redemption for Sam Darnold to shove it up. And I've been in his corner for, even when he was with the Jets, I always thought he was going to be a really good player, and I always got crap for it. So it would be total redemption for he and his Seattle Seahawks team and as long as they don't run that pick play at the goal line when they're about to win, they got a chance. So it would be nice. I want the Patriots to win, but I think the Seahawks will win the football game. And I kind of like Drake May's makeup too. But again, I'm a Vrabel guy. And the thing of it is, Matty, no one really – I don't know what the TV ratings will be, but – we're engulfed and enveloped with all that is the Super Bowl this week. And maybe it's because poor Savannah Guthrie and her mom's situation has dominated the airwaves. But I haven't seen much. And with the Olympics starting as well, the Super Bowl has been downplayed a bit this week. And I don't know. I just don't seem excited about it. I wasn't really excited about a flag football game the other night. So with the Pro Bowl. But I am excited with Roger Craig if the rumors are true and we find out while you and I are on. And I would be even more ecstatic if Ken Anderson got in.
No, 100%. You look at the Super Bowl this year, Johnny, I think what it is that the NFL is still king. And when there's two teams in, but there's 28 teams, 32 teams? What is it, 32? So it's 30 other teams that aren't. But they're already looking forward to the combines and the Shrine Bowl and the draft. And they do such a good job with the Super Bowl. Then it's going to be free agency. Then it's going to be the combine. Then it's the draft. Then it's the schedule reveal. Next thing you know, training camp opens. They dominate the calendar so well that they do such a really good job of doing that and making sure they do that at a high level as well. So I need the Seahawks to win by 4, if you're wondering. So, and here's what I do know, guarantee I'm going to eat way too much food coming up on Sunday. Johnny, I appreciate you. We'll catch up with you again next week. Thanks, my man.
Thanks, partner.
All right. John Marx talking a little bit of everything here, and 1,000%. And hopefully the things that happened today should happen today. And we can talk a little bit about Roger Craig, maybe with Artez tomorrow, his brother Artez, who's still here in the Quad Cities. And that would be well warranted for Roger Craig to get into the Hall of Fame. We got more to get to. You're watching OTA. It's Thursday right here in the Quad Cities.
Give me the keys.
Learning to drive can be stressful for both the student and, yes, the parent as well. Relax. There's an easy way to avoid the stress. Skiles Driving School in East Moline has been helping new drivers hit the road with confidence for over 20 years. Whether you're a teen earning your first license or an adult looking for behind-the-wheel training, we've got you covered. Their certified instructors are patient, experienced, and use modern vehicles equipped for safety and comfort. From classroom instruction to real-world driving, we make learning safe, affordable, and even fun. Call 309-278-0098 or visit skylesdriving.com. Skiles Driving School. Get in, buckle up, drive your future forward.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Thursday, February 5th. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a fun Thursday here on OTA. A lot to get to. A lot we've covered over the last nearly hour and 40 minutes. Couple things that have happened during the show. We've been keeping an eye on Roger Craig to see if he's been announced, hopefully, as a Hall of Famer. We'll see how that goes. We'll kind of keep an eye out on it. But like John Marx and I just said, it's well overdue. It should have been done a while ago, and hopefully he gets into the Hall of Fame today. Would be really, really fun. While the show's been going on, there's been a trade in the NBA. There's been a bunch of trades. Today's the trade deadline. But Ayo Dosunmu is heading to the Timberwolves. The Bulls trading Ayo. So Ayo plays with Terrence Shannon, who's probably not playing enough right now, if you ask me. But so he'll be up in Minnesota with another Fighting Illini standout. But the Bulls, they get 4 more second-round picks. And then Rob Dillingham, who was actually a first-round pick a couple of years ago, I believe a top 10 pick, and Leonard Miller. So, but I think the Bulls probably have like 10 or 12 second-round picks over the last 24 hours that they've received. I'm surprised they haven't gotten any first-rounders. But again, Ayo Dosunmu going to Minnesota in exchange for 4 second-round picks, Rob Dillingham, and Leonard Miller as well. So the NBA trade deadline continues to be active and busy around the world of sports. We started the day talking a little college basketball. Nicholas Baer and Tom Kakert joined us. If you stayed up late last night, I did do a poll like yesterday or last night. Basically, I was stopping on the way home from one of my kids' practices, and I grabbed some Diet Mountain Dew just to stay awake. And I kind of put a Twitter poll up like, hey, are you going to stay up and watch the game? Are you going to find out in the morning? I think people probably regret their answer. I'm going to look at the poll real quick here, but we got a good amount of responses. Only 31% said I'm in, I'll sleep later. 35% said they'll find out the score in the morning, and then 33%, so basically in thirds, said we'll try but no promises. So if you did stay up, you watched Iowa trail by 7 at the half, go on and win by 10. They've won 5 straight. Nicholas Baer, Tom Kakert broke it all down for us earlier in the show. We also talked the fact that Jay Norvell is on Kirk Ferentz's staff now, and a few other Hawkeye notes with TK. We also had Kevin Gorgal on. Kevin Gorgal is a very familiar face around the Western Big Six. He's been a football coach at Moline for 33 years. He's retiring, going to go watch his son play football in college, and you cannot blame him for that. So chatted with Kevin about his memories and his thoughts of Western Big Six football, Moline football, over the last 33 years. That was a ton of fun. So if you missed that, go back and check out Kevin Gorgle's interview as well. And then John Marx just on talking a little Illinois, a little Hall of Fame for Alleman. We got into our little Alleman cocoon and started talking about the Pioneers a little bit, but a lot of fun talking to John Marx as well. Coming up tomorrow on the show, most likely Kyle Huseman. It's Iowa and Minnesota women's basketball tonight at 6 p.m. So we'll probably recap that tomorrow as well. Our good friend Dan Tomlin is going to be on with Super Bowl gambling. We're going to go over some good bets for the Super Bowl. Get you guys set for, if you're not a Seahawks fan or a Patriots fan, you are a fan of winning money. And we've talked for the longest time about my wife always picks, heads, tails, gambles on it. It's the only bet she makes all year. She made one bad bet, 18 years ago when she married me, and that gamble didn't pay off, so I don't think she's much of a gambler. But we'll let you know so you can fade my wife and a bunch of other stuff. So a little bit of that tomorrow as well, and hopefully something breaks with Roger Craig, and we can chat with maybe Artez Craig or some other people from around the Quad Cities about hopefully what is a Hall of Fame announcement. Some reports already have them in. They came out yesterday, but nothing official yet when it comes to the Hall of Fame. I'm going to check one more little place before we get out of here. Nothing as of yet, although it does sound like the Bucks are going to keep Giannis. So, anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. We want to thank you guys for listening, watching, however you are consuming the show. We do appreciate it. We thank our sponsors each and every day for allowing us to do this goofy little show. And if you missed today's show, go watch it. If you missed any of the shows from this week, go back and check them out as well. And if you're on the YouTube page, do me a favor, subscribe. It helps us out a ton. And we will have one more show, TGIF, tomorrow's Friday edition of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Until then, have a great Thursday, Quad Cities.